Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Hello.
We have a channel.
We've had a channel for a little bit now.
Welcome back to it.
We're just now welcoming you.
So we were going to do a live recap of Crescent City where we talk about we finished the book. Don't forget to talk loud.
Oh yeah.
We finished the book. And so this is that talk. But we could, it's so hard to get a live scheduled around where everybody can come. So we just decided to do a video. And we're just going to do the first
I just found a note in here. Language of Universes.
Language of Universes. So then, this is the final review for Sarah J Maas, Crescent City.
Guys, this book is so fabulous.
Spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. You know how you know how I was obsessed with A Court of Thorns and Roses? I am obsessed. This is my new favorite series.
And here I come. Do.
Oh, look, a rabbit hole. Boom. There's Kelly.
And now I'm
Me and Micah are like, we're waiting.
Yeah, I finally I texted them after I finished it, and I was like, well, I'm obsessed. I need yarn on the board. Also, I'm joining the club, and Nikki goes, we've been waiting for you.
I don't have a wall in my house that I can use for yarn, so I made a binder, and it is Sarah J Maas is gonna take it and use it to write her new books because it's so detailed.
So
I am so proud of this binder.
She has a binder. Micah has a notebook. And I don't have anything.
Each main character has their own little stat card, like baseball card. Has their titles, powers, abilities, family, date of birth, all this stuff. And then there's just little there's tabs. Guys, there's tabs.
She didn't give me all these details, so I did not know it was so detailed.
I am so proud of it.
You should bring it sometime.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Oh yeah,
I know
I
things
can't yet.
about the second one.
You're right, I can't see it.
I was gonna bring it yesterday when we met, and I was like, oh no, because if she flips open, and I'm being good.
If I see anything, it'll be ruined for me.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad. She's a good friend, man. She's a good friend.
I'm doing good.
She's doing best ever since that one time when she accidentally let it slip that Caroline was pregnant
on
pregnant
Vampire
Diaries.
It was just a coincidence that I ruined that for you.
She's been so good at not trying to ruin this.
That's because that was our first and only fight.
I know.
And I'm like, we're never going to fight again.
We're across from each other from the desk, and she says it, and it takes me a minute, because I'm like...
Okay, this is how it went down. I was reading a news article in real life of Caroline being pregnant, and I was like, oh, did you know Caroline's pregnant? Caroline was pregnant in the show, too, because she was pregnant in real life.
And we were just talking about Vampire Diaries because I wasn't caught up.
Yeah. And so I did ruin it, but it was not me ruining it maliciously.
But I was like, what did you just say?
We were yelling at each other. I was like, I'm on the news!
And I was like, you liar! I didn't say liar. It wasn't that bad. We're being silly. Was it? I was pretty mad. Not real mad.
It was bad enough to count it as our first and only fight.
I don't really think it was a real fight. But anyways... She
still talked to me.
She doesn't ruin anything for me anymore.
Oh, I'm scared to death now.
Okay, first of all.
Also,
let me get cozy here.
I got a boo-boo.
I think tape it up. It's going to be love. It's going to add love and character to your book. Because Micah's is falling apart. Me and Micah have the paperback. We will be getting the hardback. And Micah's is falling apart because she's loved it so much. Or it was poorly made. I don't know.
One or the latter.
One or the other.
I am so obsessed. I'm going to be Bryce for Halloween, and I'm making Josh be Hunt.
And I can't wait to see it. She's already getting practice. Look how cute she looks today, guys.
I got my leather jacket, my
hot she's getting practice.
Now I just need to put, through love, all things is possible on the back.
Don't play with me.
I'm not. It's a thing. It could happen.
It could happen. Do it.
I could embroider that shit, right?
No, you can use your Cricut and mine and Micah's nice fancy iron that we went in on halvesies on.
I got 9 months to
Yeah, to get it done. So, I don't. Micah read these books literally a
long
year.
time ago, yeah.
A year before we read them, right? It was a long time.
And I read A Court of Thorns and Roses way after you read it, didn't I?
Nope. I was still reading it when you
were?
started it, or else I just finished it. Regardless, she read those also a long time before we did. And she just, I don't know what it was. Like one day she was just like, you need to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then it was over. And
then I had to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And yeah.
Regardless, I want to say, I don't know how the hell she read this by herself. Reading buddy. You need a reading buddy. Don't go in alone. I cannot stress this enough.
Lightly.
Do not go in alone. And I also would like to stress, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. We're going to talk about everything that happened in this book.
It's so funny
right
that you
now.
said don't go in alone. Because she was like, we can't leave Nikki alone because I finished it late. And so I stayed up till like 2 o'clock finishing, right? They're all asleep. They're in bed. I'm like sobbing.
But I was alone too.
And so I was like...
But at least we had each other the next day.
Yeah.
Because we all had read it.
I'm sobbing on the couch and Josh is like...
Do you need
after
anything?
I get done, I'm like this. And he's like, are you okay? And I was like, I've been sobbing for like an hour. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know you were crying. And I was like, he's like, do you need anything? And I was like, this book just ruined me.
And it's not little bitty tiny baby ruin.
Well, the last 15 chapters is going to kill you.
It was like the last 20
It'll
for me.
It'll gut you.
It will gut you. So I just need to express that I have never, I'm a lot of years old, cried as old as I have. I've never cried as hard as I have in this book. Not because of like bad things happening. I mean, bad things were happening,
just
but
such a powerful,
it was
like you said,
so
it was powerful.
Powerful. There was a point where Bryce had a whole bunch of stuff had gone down, and we haven't talked about this part. There was a whole bunch of stuff that had gone down. She put Syrinx in her apartment, closed it, and then she's like loading up on ammo. You guys got to keep in mind, she has not made the drop. She is half human, half they, no special abilities.
I just got chills.
Well, she had, that comes later. She's like loaded up with guns, and I know, chills, goosebumps. She's running down the street because we're in full-blown demon attack. Her city is under fire.
And nobody loves the city more than Bryce, guys.
Nobody's there to help.
Is her city.
All the rich people, all the fae are all hidden in bunkers. The
and
there's
nobody to help.
The humans. And she is going. You guys have to keep in mind also, she's just a regular girl. Like, it's not even. Well, she is not a regular girl, but
at this time, she is just a regular girl to a reader.
Us, yeah. She is like lock, stock, and barrel. She is running down the street. Now, her stepdad, who raised her, is human. And he taught her snipers, sharpshooting, guns,
combat,
like everything. And you don't see any of that during the book. You don't and there's the one time they go to the gun range.
And that was funny.
But you don't see it. And then she goes from this smart ass, sassy, and she's strong
girl
to running down the street to protect all the humans.
The only one that wanted to protect the humans.
When she's running and loading guns and shooting and dropping guns,
I just got
hitting with guns, I was sobbing hysterically.
And Danica sword with her, and she's just like, shoot, stab, run, shoot, stab, run. Like,
I was sobbing at it because there was a part. And we're so out of order right now, and we're going to get back to it. We just got to get our emotions out. There's a part where her father, the ice-cold Autumn King, who doesn't even like her, something is going down. They're watching it on feed, watching a serious situation go down on feed. And he's never shown that he loved her at all, liked her, cared about her at all. And there's a part, and he stands up, and it's like it's a meeting of all the powerful people are watching what's happening on his screen. He stands up, and he's like, drop the chimera, basically, like, run.
And Hunt's like, she's never going to.
And everyone in the room, but him, because he does not know her, is like, not everyone in the room, but
everyone that knows
her is like,
would never
she will never do that. And then I'm just crying. dying because I'm like, she wouldn't.
No.
Okay. So.
This book, guys, is so...
Let's just tell you, like, let's just give you a little brief synopsis, start to front. It starts following this girl, Bryce, who they portray as a party girl. Her best friend, Danica, who is
the party girl.
And she's like, oh my God, I have too much emotions.
They actually call her queen, the queen of the party. What is it? Queen
I don't
of the
know.
party.
They portray
Whatever.
them both as party girls, and that there's nothing really going on upstairs. They've just graduated college. They're looking for their lives.
Danica is the prime in her...
She's not the prime. She's in line to be the next prime.
She's the alpha of her pack.
Yeah, and her pack is it's kind of like in this town we've got units of police forces, and we talked about this in the other video. So we'll just kind of move on from chapter 46.
So it's a murder mystery, basically. Her and Hunt have teamed up, and it's a very slow burn. Oh my God, it's so slow. But Bryce and Hunt make the best team ever.
Yeah.
It's the slowest burn in the entire...
They're trying to figure out who killed Danica,
Yes,
right? So you find...
Sorry.
You go right ahead, girl.
Excited. But we are finding out that Danica is not who we thought that she was.
But I don't think Danica was bad, and
No,
I
don't
think she was bad at all. But she definitely was keeping secrets.
There's a lot of things
and kind of being a little manipulative. So we've got a couple things going on. We've got Micah, the governor and head of the police force. We're just going to call it the police force. It's like the 33rd district. We've got Micah.
That's the army of the angels.
Yeah, has Hunt and Bryce searching for the murder of Danica and her pack. We've got another thing going on. Over on the other side, we've got the Autumn King, who has told his son that he needs to find the horn.
Rune, and he is delicious.
Rune is charged to find the horn, which we talked about in the other video. It's a magical fairy relic that is meant to, it can open gates, portals, things like that. It's written that it's been broken and it is not usable.
Oh, I was going to bring up something too about the horn. You know how it's the language, it's in the language of the universes?
Mm-hmm.
Throne of Glass, word marks. Those open up portals. I guarantee you her tattoo is word marks.
I'm too cold. It's so cold.
I 100% guarantee you that her tattoo is in word marks.
And we don't know because
nobody in custody has heard of word marks. And Bryce studied it, and she knows how to read word marks. I guarantee you.
But she does when she's looking at her tattoo. She doesn't really know how to read that because remember she was like looking in the mirror and she was like, "This is what Danica said it was, but is it?" You know what I mean? Because that's the only indication that I got. Remember I was telling you that? I'd have to go back and look. But so you've got Rune looking for Rune looking for the sword, them looking for the murders. Guys, everything that can go down is going down. There's this big summit meeting with all the heads of all the different clans, like the
witches, the wolves,
the fae.
All of them.
All the heads are going out of town.
I just want to like pause this and go read.
They're going way out of town for this summit.
Yeah, they're like an hour away. It's like 30 minutes by helicopter, an hour by wings, like.
And keep in mind, so we've got this whole governing force, but the Asteri, is that how you pronounced it? Is on top. They're like
they
the
overrule
gods.
the whole world. Yeah, they're like the gods.
So ultimately, what they say goes. They're bored. They're up there, wherever they are, dictating and telling everybody how things are going to be. And so that's what this meeting is for. Everybody's getting together. They're going to speak with the Asteri, and then they'll make decisions and choices.
The big talk is the rebels and the war. So in the background of all this,
because that's going on all over the world. The war is going on.
Wars and rebels and humans are fighting for power. Fae's fighting for power. So it's kind of just a mess in the background on top of what's going on in here.
And it's the same war, mind you, that Hunt like
started.
Hunt is a slave for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so essentially our story is taking place in a town, in a city, Crescent City, but there's a lot of bigger players, a lot of stuff going on. So at the summit, everybody's just sitting there all innocent at the summit. And Jessica, who is...
Did you say Jessica?
Yeah, Jessica.
I say Jessica.
Jessica, which is Bryce's boss, gets a phone call.
She's got lots of secrets, too.
Jessica is the whole thing. Okay, I'm so excited for that. Jessica gets a phone call. And Declan, who works with Rune, is an IT tech. And he patches through... Bryce says, put me on video. Okay? And... call and put me on video, and then
no the video starts when she's being hostage by Micah.
She texted Jessica and said watch the cameras,
and then they pulled it up, and she's being held hostage by Micah,
who is the governor. He left the summit. He came up with some excuse and left the summit. This is the big guy, guys.
He messed up all the helicopters and transportation, and then he came and found
You don't know he did that.
Yeah,
Until after. But how it plays out is they're at the summit. Jessica gets a text message and then asks Declan if he can pull it up on the feed. So once she realizes what's going on. So Jessica looks at her phone and she can see that Micah is there at her antiquities shop in the library, the forbidden library, secret library.
Pissed because Sandriel is like, you're supposed to be here. Because Micah's kind of like Sandriel. She's for a different city.
A different region, yeah. And guys, we're just starting from the middle of the book on. Like, if you want to know what happened in the first part of the book, you got to go watch the first video because we are too emotionally... This is a 800, 900 page book, guys.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment. I can't emotionally handle going back that far.
I will say, though, as someone with commitment issues, I could not put it down.
Okay, so Bryce puts it... And there's a lot of stuff that happens before this, guys. We're just like... so emotional right now, and we probably should have waited a little while, but we couldn't.
No, I think the emotions are going to be the best.
And
God, you've got your own JJ.
Yeah, no, that was not purple.
Yeah,
but I'm in the looks for one. But I was at Walmart the other day. I told my husband, "Can we go through the Pretty Princess aisle?" And he's like, "What?" No, we're not going through the Pretty Princess aisle, but I need a little pony. I need a purple little pony. Anyways, if you read the book, you'll know what we're talking about. So, she puts it on the feed, and let's just say Micah, the governor, who told them to go look for Danica's murder.
Beneath my feet.
He's the one who killed Danica and the whole pack. He did it. And Bryce is kind of talking. He's trying to kill Bryce. Oh, he's not trying to kill Bryce.
Yeah. She's like making them where he keeps talking.
Yeah,
and
confessing.
Confesses his whole story live on the feed or whatever.
But he's figured something out. And she had actually figured it out the night before, but she hadn't told anybody. But I'm going to let you tell him because you figured it out. I didn't figure it out.
So Bryce herself is the horn.
Tell him why.
So she has the tattoo on the back that she went and got with Danica. And Danica knew. Danica's the one that stole the horn. And had it tattooed in her back. Because
she had it crushed.
Because she knows.
And put in the ink.
Yeah. Because she knows. So when everyone was saying that this artifact was broken, but it could be healed. It could be healed. And a Starfall person had to... Starborn was the one that had... That's a whole nother theory.
It says that
was the only
the
one
Starborn they can only use it. The horn can be fixed, but it cannot be fixed by real magic. It has to be fake magic, which is this stupid drug that they bring into the story. Oh my God. Which was started for good purposes. It was supposed to be synthetic magic to help heal. And of course, people turned it into a drug. So Micah injects Bryce
with the synth, fixing the horn. And
so
then,
it fixes the horn.
Yeah, and he's trying to use Bryce to open up a portal to hell and release these demons.
Also, we need to throw in that anybody who takes the synth after a certain amount of time, they go crazy and tear themselves apart.
Which is what happened to Danica and the pack. So he gave them synth. Danica killed her whole pack and then herself. Sad. But, so then Bryce, like, there's a fight. He sticks her with the synth or whatever. And they fight. Poor Lahaba gives her
We call her different names too.
Gives her
Like, we should
2
save them
extra
some
seconds.
surprises.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell them all that. I can't go. Do you want to? You can if you want.
I don't know. That's my
I do
favorite
need to
part.
clarify that earlier in the story, a med witch who pulls the venom, who's trying to figure out an antidote to the scent so that people who take it don't rip themselves apart. And so she did find an antidote that would work without her presence being there. And she actually, as a gift to Bryce, because that pain that was in Bryce's leg we were talking about in the first video that we
That was
didn't know,
venom.
it was venom stuck in her leg. So that med witch took it out, used that venom to create an antidote, and because Bryce did that for her, she gave Bryce a free antidote. And Bryce was like, what am I going to do with this? So she locked it in the safe in Jessica's safe at work. There's so much. Can we really, like...
I don't know what all we should say. What all
I
we
know,
should say.
because there's just too much. All I can say is...
If they watch this, then they don't even need to read it. We're telling them everything.
I know. I think you should read it, and I think we should stop giving away too many details. But
Let's just say this is literally a 20-star book, guys.
20
This has
stars.
surpassed every single book that we've ever
every
read.
book I've ever read.
I literally am so involved in this whole entire world that Sarah has made for us. So, like, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Crescent City, Throne of Glass, like, all of it is literally consumes my life. Like, I feel like when I'm not working and I'm not doing, like, I'm thinking about theories. I'm thinking about this
She
and
does.
this, how it's connected. Because they're all going to come back and connect.
And we're all thinking about how this is going to happen. But I really think it could happen in multiple points. I don't think it's just going to be one big bam. I think it's going to be a multiple.
I have tabs,
I'm sure.
Kelly.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. I know you do.
I will say, though, that we did find out that Crescent City 3 is going to be announced this month in February. So
The
we'll
release
get
date?
the release date this month. So it'll probably be end of the year, beginning of next year.
I just started Sky and Breath.
I did too. I'm only on like chapter 1 or 2.
I'm just on like chapter 4 or 5. But I just can't even. People said they didn't like this book.
Yeah, so we had so many people that said that it was slow and they couldn't get into it, and I never got that vibe. And people have been saying the same thing about the second Crescent City, that it's slow and it
Sky and
drags
Breath,
on.
yeah.
And
I don't know how.
I'm so invested.
I don't know how. Maybe because they expected it to be just like the worlds that she had created in the first 2 series.
I don't want it to be the same though.
I had no preference until this happened, and it's absolute perfection, and I haven't even read what my friends have written as reviews. I haven't looked at reviews for it. I've just heard people say in like groups that they couldn't get through it, or they were bored with the first 5 chapters, so they stopped. And
There's a girl that said that she's gotten to page 100 and she's about to put DNF it. I'm like, 100? Like
803 pages. That's how many pages it is.
Sarah is a genius. Like, she literally is a genius. To be able to write this way and to have us engulfed while still telling a story, while still making these characters so real, while building such a beautiful world and connecting it all together, like, she literally has to be a freaking genius.
I'd like to also point out that a lot of times when we see this, and I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying, I'm going to give an example. Cassandra Clare, Immortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, Dark Artifacts, Chains of Golds, all of those. And I actually have only read the three series, Infernal Device, Dark Artifacts, and Immortal, all whatever it is. Yeah, they're different characters, but it's the same kind of situation. So, like, and it's good, don't get me wrong, but what's going on is they're all shadow hunters. They're all, yeah, this year might be 1918 and this year might be 2020, but there's really not that much of a difference in the storylines. Did you read Clockwork Prince? Okay.
I only read the very first one.
So, of the Immortal Instruments. They're great books, but I literally am sitting here not interested in reading anymore. And she's written probably
like
8 or 9 more books, a whole, you know, and I don't have any interest in reading them because I've read it, okay? You know what I mean? But this is not that. So it's not anything like that. And so, yes, she's the same author. Yes, there are fae in every single one of her series. Yes, she's going to tie them all together, but they are nothing alike. Nothing alike.
They're as close in similarity as the Archean girls.
Archean. I just say it. Well, no, you say it your way. I'll say it my way. I just had to say it.
But the
Archean sisters.
All 3 of them are so different, and that's how the 3 series are.
Yeah, they're so different, and there are things like she picks up on little things, little Easter eggs that I do not pick.
I find these little dust mites, and then I roll with it.
That she goes crazy and down the rabbit hole. But my point is yeah, you might find little hints and little connections.
Micah's already read both of them, and I sent her probably this big of a thing yesterday, and she finally texted me back, I think it was this morning. She's like, yeah, I could see that being it. Yeah. And she like says her little portion or whatever, and I was like, all right, validated.
I can't do it because literally I got lost for 20 minutes down a rabbit hole, and then we weren't fighting, but I thought we were fighting.
I thought we were fighting too.
And I was like
crying.
And I was like, okay, we're going to stop fighting about this because we literally lost it somewhere along the path.
Yeah,
we were all saying the same thing. But we thought we were saying different things. I was like, so wait a minute. What you're saying is this, which is exactly what I said. So why are we fighting? It's so stupid.
It was stupid. But
it's emotional. It's an emotional ride. Get a buddy.
You guys have to read
Get a buddy. Read it together.
It's amazing.
And I just like to know because I need to know why. And you and I, we like a lot of the similar books, but we really do have different tastes.
And men and books.
And we both, we're obsessed with this
Seriously,
book.
Obsessed.
Take a moment of silence. I will probably read it again. I will. Whenever the 3rd one comes out, I'll have to, right? How could we not?
I remember I finished A Court of Silver Flames, and I was ready to start it all over again right then. That's how I am with this.
I can't, guys. I cannot even. I'm so in love with Bryce. She is the most amazing character. And the fact that she never corrected. People saw her as one thing. She never corrected them. Like, if that's the way you want to see me, that's the way you want to see me.
Why can't we do that?
I don't know, but we should. Mm-hmm. I don't
We could learn so much from
She didn't care what anybody thought about her.
She would have rather people thought that than the latter.
Yeah. She was hurting. She's such a
strong character.
She's such a powerful, powerful character. And you know,
I just got chills again.
And she's a good friend. Like,
she's the best friend.
Like,
I was telling them, I was
you
like,
want
she
her in your court.
In perfectly with the 3 of us. She is the friend that you always could
And
want.
the crappy thing is, nobody does the same for her.
Nobody's ever there for her.
She
basically mourned Danica for 2 years alone, basically. Yeah. Because her best friends weren't there for her. Fury ignored her. Juniper was only there if it benefited her.
Well, she did show up at one time.
She showed up at one point, but...
Just love to... We need a support group.
We do.
We
There's
need
a
to
lot
find
of them
one.
on Facebook. Well, our next book for February that we are going to be doing the halftime report on is Shatter Me. So we'll be reading to chapter 26, and we'll be going live on that one on February 11th at 3 p.m. on Facebook.
Please join us.
So we would love for you to read along with us.
It would have been really great to process these emotions with a lot of people.
Lot of
Misty
people.
read it. Misty read it with us. Anybody else?
Way to go, Misty. I don't think so.
Apart from Micah, who read it first.
Yeah.
My cat's in here now. She's like, what are you hoes in here doing? Who you talking to?
I'll see nobody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Love you.